Many are betting big that it could change the face of how we interact.
We have to say it's pretty amazing.
The metaverse.
The metaverse.
The metaverse.
Let's talk about metaverse.
Here is the Futurist Valley. Here is the Futurist Valley. Here is the Futurist Valley. Here is the Futurist Valley, where dreams and tech align. AI, machine learning. The future's bright, it's time to shine. In the heart of innovation, where data meets creation. Algorithms shape the nation. AI leads the conversation.
This is Futurist Valley Podcast, and in this episode our guest Fabian Grundmann and host Sarah Peracha will be discussing about the future of shopping, virtual showrooms and digital twins. So let's hop on.
Welcome to today's episode of Futurist Valley Podcast, where we explore the cutting-edge trends shaping the future of various industries. I'm your host, Sarah Peracha, with a background in tech and innovation. I've spent delving into the world of cutting-edge technologies. Through this podcast, I aim to bring you insights from industry leaders and visionaries, helping you to stay ahead in the rapidly evolving landscape of the future. And today we have a very special guest with us, Fabian. Fabian is a visionary metaverse leader with a deep expertise in digital transformation and innovation, with an immersive background that spans across various high-tech and retail sectors. He has been at the forefront of integrating advanced technologies into consumer experiences. Fabian currently serves as a key thought leader, guiding companies through the complexities of adopting virtual stores, exhibitions, and events. His extensive experience and innovative approach have made him a sought-after voice in the metaverse field, and we are thrilled to have him here to share his insights on the future of shopping, virtual showrooms, and digital twins. Please join me in welcoming Fabian to the show.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me here. As you already introduced myself, I'm Fabian. I'm the CEO and founder of the Neox Entertainment GmbH. And I guess like we all know the classic boring and non-interactive 2D websites, like for example also Amazon. And we brought this to the next level since we have built virtual 3D environments, which you can also move through using your own created characters, for example. And in those showrooms, you can then talk with AI characters who will give you a tour through the shop, or can also even recommend products or pre-qualify clients. And like this, customers will quickly find the right products and can already try them on or inspect them from every angle, or see animations of the product to directly understand how they are working. And this builds up so much trust and can basically also shorten the sales cycles, and also shop owners have less returns, which will also save the environment. That's what we are doing in a nutshell there, basically.
Okay, awesome. Fabian, can you also tell us more about you, like from where you are and what you normally do, how this whole journey started?
Yeah, I'm basically from Germany, and I started around 6 years ago. Back then, I only started in the gaming industry, basically. And during this time, I already thought, okay, like games are such a nice medium, basically, to like hook players, tell like stories and all that stuff, and you can connect people globally around the world and all that stuff. And I always thought, okay, like there must be more than more you can do with this medium. And I also, like during the pandemic and all that stuff, saw that like many companies are struggling to stand out from the crowd. There are more and more agencies or shops which are popping out of the ground and all that stuff. And everyone have the issues basically that they can't stand out from the crowd, since everyone have the same boring 2D websites basically. And also at the same time, those websites don't get like watched anymore for longer than like 50 seconds, because like when you Google it, the average watch time of a website is around 50 seconds, which is super low basically. It's very hard for people to like make a sale or to hook people in the 50 seconds, or to tell like what your company is doing in 50 seconds. That's almost impossible. So what we like, or my idea there basically was to build, for example, virtual offices, virtual shops, basically, with which are like in 3D, and where we also added in gamification. And this approach basically enabled us to, like, yeah, in our virtual 3D office, for example, triple the watch time, or like that we can really hook people and stay in their mind in the long term, that they also like remember you, like maybe also in the future when they like got the need for your product, basically, then they will come back and remember you because they saw your virtual office, for example, or all that stuff, basically. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, if I will ask you that define virtual showrooms more to our audience, how would you like to define it out? Like, what is virtual showrooms and how it helps the people and the consumers of your clients?
Yeah, virtual showrooms and all that stuff can look very differently. Like they can get used for almost every industry, and everywhere they look a little bit different. Like when we have, for example, a clothing brand, what we can do is like, for example, creating a space or like recreating, for example, your physical store where we have the products, or where uh, where you as a user can like customize your character, basically, where you can then go through the application or through the store, and then try on different types of clothing, basically. And yeah, like this you can like create different new outfits, see if all the stuff is fitting, because there's also some sort of AI technology we are currently researching and building, that we can, like, for example, also show the users only the clothing which will actually fit them. And like that's, I guess, like the the future, because then you never have it again, like that you go in a store, you like a product, and then you notice, okay, it's not there in my size and I can't buy it. Or yeah, like that's, for example, something I find very, very annoying when I go in like normal brick and mortar stores or something like that. But as I mentioned, like those virtual showrooms can look very differently. We, for example, also back then worked together with Commercial Laundry Corporation, where we built a like 3D tour through this laundry. And there we also had an AI character, or we rebuilt it. Firstly, we rebuilt the production line, or like the all the machinery and all that stuff. And then we also added in a AI character, which gives the user a tour through the space and show the customer every single step of the process. So it can not get only used like in classic stores. It can also get used to, like, for example, for industry applications where you maybe want to like visualize and showcase the product, the process of like how your machines are working or something like that in more details. Like the use cases here are very, or the range there is very wide.
Awesome, awesome. So, would you like to give us a demo that how it normally looks? I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. Give me 1 second and I can share my screen here. All right. Yeah. Here, for example, we have a virtual 3D shopping mall we are currently working on.
Wow.
And when I start the video here, you can already see it. We just built a mall with many different stores, which are like here for this showcase, they are empty. But what I want to show is like that those stores can get customized, for example. So we have those different store templates, basically. People can customize to like cut down the development costs of all that stuff. Or what we also can do is like creating, for example, those custom stores like you see here, which are bigger, which maybe have more details in there, or more stuff. And here you also see the progress, basically, of like how easy it is for like shop owners later to like set up their own store or something like that. So basically you just go in there with your character, you see that a store is, for example, for rent or something like that, and you like connect there with PayPal, buy the store, and then you already have a first like store template. What you can then do is like adding in your like products or something like that. That's what we also usually help the clients with, because most people don't have like 3D models of their products. So those would need to get created, or they would need to get scanned. Like there are different like approaches, like depending on the type of company or like the type of products, different approaches make sense. That's always very unique. But let's say we create those 3D models, we bring them in the application, and people can then select them there and place them at a specific location in the store to like advertise it and all that stuff. So here I'm currently like customizing the store, and in a second now I am also the character looks the same, but they are like customizable as I mentioned. Now I am the visitor basically, and you see the UI or like everything changed a little bit, because now I can't um, adjust the products or replace them. I can like inspect them and can see them, how they are looking at my 3D character, which is a replica of myself, for example, or something like that. And you can also like 3D rotate and inspect the different products to see them from every angle, and to see if they are really like what you are looking for. And like when you have, for example, more complex machinery or something like that, you like in theory also can like place them here in AR in your real physical environment. You maybe can also like play animations which show you how those machines are later working and all that stuff. That's what I mentioned. Like the use cases here are very, very wide, and basically everything is possible like with those new technologies basically. And now I'm showing the checkout process basically. So people can just buy the products then and check out. And later that's like the future basically. We are also like working on building out some sort of like a open world where people also have something to do basically. So that is like an issue I see with many traditional like metaverse platforms or something like that. They have those maybe mechanics to like showcase your product or something like that, but they don't have active users in there. Since there's also like no gamification, since the space is just boring and empty basically. That's also something we want to do differently, but currently starting with this shopping mall. That will be our first big step basically, and then we in the future want to like bring in some more events and mini games or things you can do in the space. Like imagine you, for example, have your own store, and you maybe also want to invite, for example, maybe what's for fashion brands or something like that, you maybe have partnered with influencers. So those influencers you could invite in the virtual 3D store, and without any risks, or like, I don't know, like when you organize those types of events, like many people maybe join, and it's like hard to organize that stuff, right? Like there are many security concerns and all that stuff. But in
Right.
a virtual 3D store, you can just like invite everyone, and so they can like go, so the visitors can go through the store, meet their influencer, their idol, or something like that. People can also go shopping together online, together with their friends when they maybe live like over bigger distances or something like that. They can go shopping with their friends, and you maybe can also like integrate some sort of like events like virtual concerts or stuff like that to boost the attention, to boost the conversion, or like how many people will visit the space. Like when you like constantly have events there, you constantly give people something new to explore and to see in the space. I guess that's like very important to think about in that way as well, to keep people hooked, to build up an interactive brand basically, or to build up a basically community around your brand, which is already waiting for the next product launch, which is already waiting for the next products. Like Apple did it in some way basically. People are camping outside of the stores just to buy a new iPhone, and like that's something like you can build up for your brand or for your company basically, when you have those, or when you have built up this community. And those games or those virtual showrooms are a great tool to do something like that.
And your users can easily adjust and edit their own personas, right? If they are like, for example, if they are heavy in weight or fat in that terms, then they can also make their body adjustable, right? It's not about only the one body size. if we are
Yeah,
talking
right.
about these, cloth or wearable kind of brands.
Yeah,
Then
right. So
awesome.
basically what we have here is some sort of like a character customization system. Like that is also something we maybe talk later about. There are different approaches like how those virtual showrooms can get set up. Like there's one approach like in Unreal Engine when you want to have everything in like hyper realistic graphics and all that stuff. In our Unreal Engine application, we for example have here this character customization system. There you can change like the gender, of course. You can change different hairstyles, you can change different outfits, you can change the white, what you already mentioned, if you are like skin or yeah, more muscular or all that stuff basically is adjustable. And in our 3GS or in our like more scalable web-based framework, you can also, for example, that we are soon incorporating Ready Player Me, which is like the most common tool like for like creating instant 3D avatars basically. There you just need to like maybe if you want, you can take a photo of your face and then the character is already like directly looking exactly like you. And that's like really crazy what the technology and all that stuff is allowing us to do. And then you only need to maybe do some fine tuning, like regarding if you're muscular or more thin or all that stuff basically, or the size, which maybe can also in the future also get scanned by AI like that. You see, okay, you are that tall, you need that shoe size, for example. Like that are all things I'm currently also checking out or partnering with other companies. Like that are all things which are like coming in the near future.
Awesome, awesome. I really like the idea. I'm just wondering that how the future of shopping will be reviving itself. Because obviously, if we see on the other hand, the Facebook and the Meta, how they are working on the metaverse, and you guys are also you have already started working on these kind of products and the technology. So it means that the whole scenario with all of the, especially all of the digital shops and all of the digital businesses will be quite changed after a few years, right? Like people can easily make these kind of demo shopping malls for them. Their digital twins will be a very usual thing in the coming future, right? And how you guys will be providing these kind of technologies to make it more easier and flexible for a lot more small businesses, right?
Yeah, that I guess many questions in one. So yeah, like there are many other companies or like also Meta doing a lot of things there or research and all that stuff in there. I guess Meta is like concentrating a bit more on like VR stuff. I guess like the VR like metaverse or something like that is not quite here yet, since many people maybe also can't afford those expensive equipment to just enter the metaverse or to enter there, right? Like, I guess what we have right now and what is already like what we're already seeing, for example, also in the automotive industry is like that you have like 3D showrooms, for example, of the car that you maybe can like 3D rotate it, you can like customize it and put new wheels on it or something like that. You maybe also have like AI assistants like answering simple questions or something like that. That's all things we already have, I guess. What will be the next steps, or what's also like some people already use that, but like what the next things could look like is like that we also integrate more AR in our applications. Like what I already talked about, what we already did is like that we, for example, for bigger factory made like they have expensive machinery and they want to like show it their clients. So they have a catalog of like 3D models you can like in AR place in your environment. So you can place a machine in your environment and see how it's actually working and all that stuff. I guess that will be like one of the next steps. And like I guess right now people are more into like simple showrooms basically. And what we want to achieve a bit more is like also bringing a bit more gamification in, that you maybe also have your own character that you can walk around in there, because that will really like hook the players to, or the visitors to like explore the space more. There's more people can do later with the gamification. And the longer people stay in your application, the more they will also learn about your company. So that's like a win-win, or that's always good. So that are the next steps. It's not quite here yet, I would say, or it's not like adapted so well from the market. But like especially if in the like many of our customers, for example, come from the USA, for example, or UK. Here in German, like there, it's very normal in the USA, or like people understand everything, or they are open to those new ideas. Here in Germany, I would say everyone is like a bit more conservative, or you need to like show them a lot of testimonials, or like that it actually works and all that stuff, which is also no problem. Like we build out many nice applications and all that stuff over the time, and can like show that. But like in Germany, I guess people are a bit more conservative, and all that stuff. But I guess what really will like bring, or like, I guess what we achieved already is like bringing down also like the prices for those showrooms a bit down, basically, because we, for example, with the virtual shops, for example, which you saw, that you have like different store templates. There are many small stores out there, basically, which are struggling right now, which have hard times, and maybe can't afford like spending like tens of thousands of euros or hundreds of thousands of euros to like build something like that, right? And that's why we also build those templates that people can, relatively easily quick start a store like this. But of course, we also offer like those enterprise solutions, or can build like a complete world just which is branded for your company and all that stuff. But I guess that's also something, right? Like people, or there's no real scalable solution out there, I guess, also for those smaller brands, and that's why it's not getting so adapted right now in the market. Like that we are living in very interesting times, I guess. And I guess with the company who like have a scalable solution for this first, and this will like really get integrated in the market very well, I guess. That's also something we are working on, as I mentioned, like with the frameworks and all that stuff, to basically cut down the times. Because as I mentioned, like the small companies are struggling. They try to maybe, for example, sell their stuff on like Amazon, for example. But in the end, like, do you, for example, remember the last product you bought on Amazon, or do you remember the company who made this product? Most people don't remember the company, or
I don't even.
yeah. And that's the sad thing, because you, as a company, you want to like build up, I don't know, some sort of like a relation with your customers, that they also come back to your store. But when you sell on Amazon, for example, people will just remember Amazon, and your company will get lost, basically. And I don't know, if there's someone else who's like selling products cheaper on Amazon, people will buy from them, and your company is like getting ruined. And I guess this will happen to many companies who will not adapt to those new trends, or to those new technologies, to stand up from the crowd, to like build up a community around their store, or to build up a community around their brand. And that's why I guess many companies, also in hard times, which we have right now, should like invest in like those types of new technologies. And I guess that's really important. And also, like as I mentioned, we live in times with a lot of like uncertainty, or like many people are scared about the economic situations and all that stuff, due to like war and all that stuff, basically. And in those times, people are more worried about making investments or buying products from you. So what you need to do is like really building up more trust, because the money and all that stuff is still there. People just don't want to spend it right now because they are insecure. And you need to like build up this trust in your brand, in your product, and like, because you can like showcase how it works. You can show the 3D model, people can like play around with it and see like how it's actually working, if it really solved their needs. They can also ask a chatbot, or the AI characters, which actually talk with them about the product, and can ask them if that's a good fit, or if they maybe need another product from your brand, which help their easier, basically. And I guess that's a very interesting and important thing people need to implement there.
Yeah, I think you're right. As like I also serve as a marketer, so I know that how things, how things are hard over the retention part of the customer. So as you are talking about it, it is really hard to make that kind of impact in the brain of that consumer or that client's client, to remember the company name, to remember and get back towards it. And that's how we built up a lot more things like email marketing, so on. But what if we give this kind of very interactive, and very creative persona to their company, and make some sort of showroom which makes it more clear and more attaching towards them, like in a way that they can easily try a lot more things, right?
Yeah.
Plus they can also go over there and visit a lot more things in a very different way. Obviously, it's in the beta version right now, and we are seeing it as like a website kind of preview. But maybe in the coming future, it will be into some sort of VR glasses, and then it will be way more real, right? To you will be taking it as more like feeling it out, physically visiting it out, and it's something that you guys have already started doing it. You were also mentioning me a few days earlier that you have done some work for the virtual offices appearances, so that if people wanted to, understand the culture of the company beforehand, they can easily do it with that kind of demo. So would you like to share that that demo, so that we can easily see that how the things work with an office, a virtual office, and how people can easily create it and why it's more needed in nowadays?
Yeah, right. Sure, I can also do that. So what you see here is basically our own virtual 3D office, where I can, here I have a little tutorial that everyone understand what they need to do. Basically, they just can navigate here with their own character through the office just by pressing WASD, like how you know it from games. You don't also need your mouse or something like that. So it's like easy to navigate here for everyone, basically. And here we have a receptionist, for example, who will later also like introduce you to the company, who he will also like walk around here and like show you around, ask some questions, and try to already like identify like what you are looking for, what you need, and he maybe can also already give you the first tips and help you to get closer to like your goal and all that stuff. Here you also have some sort of like videos and all that stuff, so you see like what we are doing and all that stuff, and see more trailers and all that stuff. But at the same time, we can also walk here, and we already see like bunch of AI characters where we can also talk and interact with. That's maybe something we can add in as a video, like that, like a conversation with those characters, how that could look like. But here you can also meet the team, like, and that will not only be interesting, like here now to like, for example, present my own company and to show people like how it works and all that stuff, to like also shorten the sales cycles for us. This office also was built, for example, here now like for building or to pushing the recruiting and all that stuff, right? Like as I mentioned, the virtual offices can get used in a wide range of use cases, and also like here, as I mentioned, in the recruiting. So here you can, for example, meet the team. So like when I, for example, looking for a job, I can here already meet my potential new colleagues. They also can give me a tour here around the office. I maybe can also like integrate some sort of like mini games which show the like everyday tasks or something like that. And those mini games can also already like pre-qualify the visitor or the visitors or the applicants, basically, so that when I looking for like new candidates or developers here to hire, then I can like already see a list basically with the different applicants with their unique score. And of course, the higher the score, the more time they spend here in the environment, which means that they learned more about my company. But also the higher the score, of course, the more or the better they are in those quizzes or mini games or something like that. And like this, I can easily pick up the gold or hire the gold nuggets or interview the gold nuggets under my applicants, basically. And also those meetings with the applicants also can get held here in this virtual office. So I don't need to like invite them to my physical space where I maybe need to, I don't know, you can't kick someone when it don't fit easily out of your physical space, right? Like in a Zoom call, you can relatively quickly end or something like that, and no one will be pissed, right? But like this, also the interviews and all that stuff can be made here in this virtual office, and later in theory also like onboardings or something like that, or like in general like some sort of like tutorials or something like that also can get held here in this virtual space. Because imagine you dealing with like complex machinery where you can make expensive mistakes basically, or like where you maybe can hurt yourself when you do something wrong. In this safe environment you can already train that, and that's maybe also something where VR later comes in. We also already like worked a lot with VR, but just like from my point of view, that the VR stuff is more like for yeah, like enterprise customers or something like that, from my experience, what I saw right now. Because like, yeah, the everyday shopper or who's shopping every day usually is using the phone or laptop. And that's why also this web-based framework, what we have built here basically, is so interesting, because it's like working on my phone, it's working on the laptop, and all of that out of the box, because we already like built the frameworks and all that stuff, right? But when we come back also to like when we come back from the recruiting part, now back to the like shopping or like building up trust and all that stuff, those virtual offices can like represent your company very well. Like people learn in videos, for example, what you are doing. You have the AI receptionist, which is giving you a tour through the space and explaining what you're doing, where you can also ask questions. And at the same time, you can also interview the team, and every persona can give you some informations here. Like, for example, we have it like here, I have my own character, so you can talk with me, the CEO, to talk about some strategy, how the showrooms can look for your business. You have Patrick, who's our Unreal Engine developer, who can tell you about the pros and cons of Unreal Engine and building your application in Unreal Engine. And then at the same time, you also have Sunmeet here, who also built this virtual 3D showroom, which is web-based, and he can also tell you about the processes there. And you also have Balaji, which represented a team of like 2 people who do the 3D modeling and all that stuff. So they can also like this, you learn more about the process, how those things get set up basically. And all that before you schedule the call, before you maybe put your email in somewhere, and without you need to worry about that, I don't know, annoying sales guys will like follow up because you just wanted to like explore everything, right? Like that's also something I found very annoying when you, I don't know, like need to enter your phone number or your email and all that stuff. And when we come back to like boosting the trust and all that stuff, here we also have a Hall of Fame. So you can also talk and interact with AI testimonials, basically, which represent like real people who provided us a testimonial or a backstory. And those AI characters are trained with exactly this backstory. So you can talk with them to learn more about the product or the project we worked on there. And they will also tell you about like how the cooperation with us was, and like, yeah, how if they recommend us and like all that stuff. So you can in general learn more about how we actually approach projects, and in general you get a really good feeling about all that stuff when you talk with some of the characters, and all that even before you booked a meeting, even before you spend any money to like, I don't know, doing some sort of like consultation or like starting working on the project. You like know what you are getting before you even have a call or something like that. Or yeah, and all that very tailored, or yeah, to the individual's customers' requirements, right? Because everyone will ask those NPC or the AI characters here different questions, and they just react to your questions and yeah, help you to yeah, find the right strategy, or to build your game or the showroom in the best way possible, basically.
Awesome, awesome. So, I have another question. Like, what future trends do you foresee in the realm of virtual showrooms and digital twins? And how might these innovations further change the shopping experience, or let me say as like a virtual reality experience? Because you can also make offices, we can also now be shopping, do the shopping and stuff like that way. So how do you think that how much these innovation will be reviving itself in the coming future? What new things you are seeing in this world of virtual showrooms and digital twins?
Yeah, I guess there are many interesting things which I have also on my radar. Like as I mentioned, for example, like we have the AR inspection where you can place like the products directly in, like for example, furniture directly in the apartment of the user, so they can see if it's like really fitting or if they maybe want to have it in another color or something like that. At the same time, we also have the trend of AI in general, which is not only limited to like the AI characters which know all your products and all the like pros and cons, and that they can like support the individual client to find the right product for their needs. But also in a way like that the AI maybe later can take over some sort of like designing your store if you want that. Like that's not integrated yet, but I also can imagine that in the near future that you, for example, just need to type in, yeah, my store or my brand colors are red and yellow or something like that, and my store should be like look like that and that. And then we can like design the stores using AI prompts or something like that, which would be really crazy and also like do the experience for the shop owners basically much more easy because they don't need to like click together or configure that through the menus or something like that. They just have a chat or something like that. At the same time, we also, I guess, in the long term, maybe we also see that like VR is really getting getting in the market. Like once maybe everyone have a VR headset or something like that, that will also, I guess, get very interesting because then you can like also much better maybe connect with other people. You can like really pick up the products, and it's not like that they are like hovering and you can like rotate them. You can really pick them up and see them from every angle. And in general, also like for the training or stuff like that, the VR will be very, very interesting. Like when you, for example, maybe want to have later automated roadshows where you, I don't know, AI characters show you how a machine is working, where you need to pull buttons or push triggers or I don't know, then you can like also physically do that in VR. Like that's also something we already like worked on and all that stuff. But as I mentioned, currently it's more in the enterprise sector because those experiences usually cost more since the development work is more there. And also at the same time, like the VR devices cost more that like many like normal people basically or the everyday shoppers can't afford that. So I guess that's something which will come over the time. Like once there are also more maybe VR games coming out, like or with the Apple Vision Pro, I guess they did a nice first step, but it's not like affordable for everyone. So I guess like once we have a device which is really affordable for everyone, I guess we also see those trends are coming and more and more. And yeah, I guess like that are the main things, I guess, which are like coming in the near future. And I guess soon, yeah, like once the digital stores and all that stuff are really in the market and all that stuff, we can of course always like build it out. We like have many stores built for companies. We put all those stores together in a mall. This mall we maybe can also connect with some sort of like a virtual concert location that people or with the event location that you can host events there to boost the traffic in the mall. Then the events are not enough, then we can like build a city around it so that people can, I don't know, like in GTA, like join races or something like that, just to keep people hooked in this virtual world, or like that we have traffic also in the malls and all that stuff later, where you can then also as a company profit from, right? Because I guess this gamification is really king, and people need to understand that games are much more than like just a waste of time or like just like I don't know those funny games, or like they need to like think about ways how they can like add gamification in their branding, marketing, and all that stuff, basically. The funny thing is, I also just checked in LinkedIn, also is working on some sort of like mini games, or they like integrated there something that are, I guess, only like 2D mini games, but it's interesting to see that even LinkedIn is pushing that, and yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And you were also mentioning in our previous meeting that you have tested it out on on the people who are around you, like your cousins, your grandparents, or something like that? Like, how was their experience as a customer of any brand? How they see all of those things? Oh, do you have any story to share about it?
Yeah, not only of course with my family, but of course like in the beginning of the development some years ago, of course I needed to like share it with some friends or like with my smaller cousins, and like this I was able to like identify or like see how they are using the controls and all that stuff, right? Because in the beginning it was like way too like my first concept for the controls with keyboard and mouse was too overwhelming, for example, for my grandma. Like you need to like multitask, or like with two hands you need to do different things, right? Like you need to press WASD at the same time you can look around and all that stuff. Like that's overwhelming, right? Like most people need more simple controls, and that's why I then like switched to only WASD, and this will also move the camera around, so and that makes everything much easier basically for people. And once I like found all those things out and optimized it, basically, I also like run the first tests and all that stuff. Like for example, like my website is also like getting viewed from hundreds of people, like every month or every week or something like that, right? And they also like started to track like the average watch time, how much time people spend on my website, and it was like very similar to like the usual website, like what I mentioned. I googled it and it was like around 50 seconds people spend on average on a website. And that's very sad. Like you hire a web designer maybe who's like charging thousands of euros, and then the website only get watched for like 50 seconds. That's like I don't know, that's pain. But at the same time, I also integrated this type of tracking in my virtual office, and there I noticed, or I had like cold ads or like cold leads are joining this office every day. Also, like yeah, I had a time where we also like got hundreds of viewers, and I was seeing that even if that are like cold leads, they spend around like 3 or 4 minutes in this office, just like, I don't know, running around there, checking the AI characters and all that stuff, hearing some testimonials and all that, or watching some videos here and there. And that's crazy to see, because right now we don't have like very much gamification in there, right? Like that's also something we want to build out over time, right? Like that you have the getting a tour from the receptionist or something like that, or that we maybe have some other mini games, right? Like that are all things which are like constantly evolving, and I'm sure that we with this gamification we can push the watch time even further. And also of course the watch time and all that stuff is one thing, but imagine like for example, like many things can get tracked in this office in theory if you want that. But like let's say you like for example also track like what the users chat with the chatbots or with the AI characters, right? Like based on those informations you get, you can not only train the AI basically to get better in solving, I don't know, common questions about the products or to actually sell the product. You can also use those questions, or like in the customer service, which you can also automate. You can also use those informations basically to maybe later enhance your products, or in general to like provide users a better customer experience and all that stuff. And that's the informations and all that stuff you can get also through those virtual offices are really valuable, because like in the physical, or basically like the virtual offices or showrooms, what we are doing, like they are mixing the benefits of the, as I mentioned, they're mixing the benefits of the e-commerce, that they are online 24/7, with the real or with the brick and mortar stores that you like. For example, my girlfriend, she go in a DM or like in a drogeries or in a store to buy makeup or something like that, right? She go in the store, she just want to buy one product, but came out of the store like with 5 products or something like that, just because like they are laying around everywhere, nicely set it, and like you always see something, right? And the virtual showrooms mix those things together basically, and at the same time they bring you the benefits that you can track like how or which routes people go in your store, so you can have some sort of like a heat map later. that you see where you maybe need to optimize some things, where you can place eye catchers, where which products maybe perform good, which products maybe don't perform good. So you can run different tests maybe to place those products differently or something like that. Like in theory, in the future, the tracking and all that stuff can get built out. Yeah, really, really crazy that you can also like optimize maybe with the results your like physical store as well. So with all the informations, and that's
Awesome.
really crazy.
I just, as you were talking about it, I just wanted to know that how much AI will be making it revolve, like how much AI will be involved in the future of these virtual showrooms and these digital twins. What do you think about like is how much AI will be impacting it out?
Yeah, I guess as I mentioned, there are many use cases. I guess not only for the AI like characters, which like where you can talk with, but also when we have or when we like start maybe to collect all those informations, right? Like AI
Mm-hmm.
is like crazy good in like combining all those informations quickly together and like analyzing it and seeing yeah like differences or like it is really good in combining all those informations and providing you some sort of like an overview or things. And so I can also imagine that we maybe in the future also use it to, for example, create some sort of like the heat map, like where people are walking in the store, where you have many people or less people and all that stuff, right? And also like with the what people are chatting, that also maybe get analyzed from the AI to fine tune and to fine tune everything, right? Also, like what I mentioned, that you maybe can in the future even cut down this like development process, like what I'm doing. Like that's also like developer working on like replacing themselves or like making them unnecessary, like right? Like I'm working on like something that though the creation or the setup of those virtual showrooms will get later easy, that everyone can do it. So that's always funny, but yeah, like maybe also the AI later can do that when we like train it, like that you can enter a prompt and then you later have a nicely set up store.
Awesome, awesome. So, but if we talk about the integration, like for example, a Shopify store, is it easier or is it hard, and how you guys normally do it?
Yeah, so basically the backend what you have doesn't matter. Like, of course, it's good when you, for example, already have a running Shopify store or a WooCommerce store or something like that. But what we or how we usually approach that is like that it always depends, as I mentioned, on the brand, which type of framework we are using. If it's like, for example, Unreal Engine framework, which would work over, it's called pixel streaming. Yeah, you later have iframe you can easily implement on your website. Or if you maybe want to like build a like web-based and also which also easily works on mobile 3D space, then this in theory also can get implemented with an iframe on your website. So the integration in general of this uh, showroom or something like that can be very easy when we just do it like over an iframe. So you just have a very tiny snippet of code you like implement on your website, or we just like host the like application, and then like when actually a purchase or something like that will happen, or people can of course like interact with the products, right? So they pick up a product 3D rotated in our experience, and when they then tell, okay, I want to buy this product, they click on a button and get redirected to like your shopping page, or your shopping page will pop up basically. And in there, they can then like make or edit to the shopping cart and make the purchase. So they're basically still purchasing it over the Shopify, the WooCommerce, or whatever, basically. So we are not handling any like, I don't know, very private informations, like, I don't know, the credit card details or the PayPal or something like that. We still have those like secure platforms which you are already choosing for you, which work for you. And we're just building up on top of that basically, or just giving this new way to like explore the different products you have. And also the AI characters can get trained based on some sort of like a database of products you have and all that stuff. So all those things can get hooked up, or like we usually help our clients with that. Like it's like it's really for us it's easy, right? But yeah, you can
Yeah.
train the AI characters then.
Yeah, as far as I'm hearing you, I believe that these virtual showrooms will be really way more, sustainable or eco-friendly, as in terms like, when we normally talk about it, like we don't need to, consume a lot more uh, things like that. Maybe the electricity will be saving it out. There will be less garbage because and the trash because of these, the common physical visits over there. So even though if some shopping mall or some shopping experience is already available as in terms of physical uh, acceptance, or maybe as in terms of physical reality, if we are going to create a virtual reality, it means that it will be also helping us out to some in some other way, like consuming less electricity, making less trash over there. Maybe we are also using the vehicles. Maybe we will be uh, making it less to pollute the environment. So it means that there are so many positive uh, outcomes if we have, make some sort of virtual showrooms and we are getting more into it, right?
Yeah, I guess like one of the main points where I see a big like benefit for both the shop owner but also like the customer in the end is like that you have less returns because you already saw the product in 3D. You maybe already, I don't know, like maybe smartphone is a bad example, but maybe you already like turned it on and was able to see like how everything's working, looking, and all that stuff. So in general, users can make a much better decision to actually buy a product because it's more they make a more informed decision. They maybe talked with the AI character who is like recommending them a product which is really fitting to their needs. They already checked out and like 3D rotated the product and like maybe had saw some animations how it's like working, that they also understand, okay, yeah, need this product and this will solve my problem basically. And since people are making those more informed decisions, we can then also like reduce the like returns and all that stuff. And reducing the returns and all that stuff will also like drastically help the nature and all that stuff. That's like a win-win-win situation, right? Like the shop owners don't need to pay for the returns. The customers are happy with their products, maybe also like are more open to like leaving good feedback, and the nature is also
Right.
happy because they don't need to like all the transporting and all that stuff back. And then I don't know, like I'm not 100% sure, but like big companies, I guess also like when there are like cheap products coming back or getting returned, they just like burn it or destroy it or something like that, right? So it's like crazy like how this industry in general works with like the returns and how it's not sustainable or not good for the nature basically. And that's also something we can do there. And you also mentioned like with the energy costs and all that, like back then, or like with, as I mentioned, we have like different frameworks. Back then we started with Unreal Engine, but there you also need very powerful PCs in the cloud which host the game, that it's like running in the web browser basically, because such nice graphics don't like directly work on every PC, on every phone. That's like always a bit tricky, right? But we was able to also like build in this new framework we just built in this web-based framework that is running on a normal web server people already have in most cases, right? It don't needs any powerful hardware. It don't like need any more energy or something like that, and you all already like consuming basically, right? Like so this is also like a huge like save of energy there, or like yeah, that's really nice. And yeah, comes with a lot of benefits. Like as I mentioned, like for the user, they have a nice experience since they don't need to download an app or something like that. They just click a button on their phone when they are connected with WLAN, for example, and then they are like in the experience and can walk around there and inspect products and all that stuff. And at the same time, yeah, we have like less hosting costs for the shop owner, so he's also happy. And we save the nature since we don't like consume much more energy than like needed, or yeah. So it's a win-win-win situation. That's like what I'm looking for always I create those experiences, basically.
Awesome, awesome. And thank you for correcting me about that, energy efficiency kind of thing, that how it was not energy efficient, and now you have worked on it and it's more like an energy efficient product. I hadn't that much idea that, how many clouds and computers will be involving in the first stage of it. But it is really impressive in overall, the overall persona, it's like going towards the future more quickly, and it is looking like that we have already entered into the future somewhat. So
Yeah, like I guess that was something where, for example, Meta back then like showed their first like things of the metaverse. People was hyped, but then it really crashed because they was
yeah,
not able to like, I don't know, really show something where people can join. Then they had something, but it was like boring or strange or something like that. And like also with the characters, for example, which didn't had legs in the beginning, or where then came out that they like faked that during the presentations and all that stuff. Like that in this time, we already was able to have a VR framework where you can also see your legs, and other people in multiplayer can also see your legs. Like we did a like simulation there for an international health organization to like really do some sort of like police training and all that stuff. And that's really important that you see the full body, since you can then like do role playing and all that stuff to like later in the real world also save lives better because you already trained those situations, right? And like at the same time where Meta was like faking it, was there like big budgets, right? Like a startup or a company like we just achieved that in a few weeks, and that was like really crazy to see back then. And at the same time, now with our offices and all that stuff, we're pushing the boundaries as well. Like we make the things of the future already happening today, basically. And that's really cool. And I'm really happy about my team, who's also like very passionate about all that stuff, and who's like helping me, because like alone, all that stuff would not be possible. You really need to have good web developers. You need to have good 3D artists. You also need to have good like Unreal Engine developers, because we are like some clients still want to like use Unreal Engine, since it don't only have like negative points. It's just like not that scalable, I would say. But like for like, I don't know, enterprise businesses, or like for the businesses who have not that much visitors, but a high ticket they sell, basically, it still makes sense to like present their product in the highest possible way, like in terms of the graphics, right? So yeah, like it's important to have good developers or a good team in every area there, basically, so we can handle everything.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Fabian. I can't explain that how much happy I am to see all of these new technologies, and I was really feeling it out. Like, I'm just wondering that when I will be trying it out more closely, but it is something really, really impressive. Good luck to you and to your team. And it was really, really great talking to you as on, as a new journey of this metaverse and virtual showrooms and stuff. So I am, I'm feeling really proud right now while talking to you. So it's really great. It's really great
Awesome.
to have you on board.
Happy to hear that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Hope to connect with you soon some other day with some more knowledge about your niche and stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Awesome. Yeah, take care, everyone. And yeah, bye.
Bye. Bye.